All right, folks. So you've probably heard already that the bills in Rhode Island for the House Judiciary Committee have been scheduled for March 19th, which is a Friday. That will be at 1 p.m. And if you go to rifol.org, you'll see all the details there that are listed and all the steps you need to do to actually participate in these hearings. It is not an actual hearing at the State House like it has been in the past, and that certainly affects the impact that we have, considering that we have so many folks that actually show up at the State House. So rather than have 5,000 people rally at the State House, we need folks to engage in this process via the way they set it up, which is the telephone, which is not ideal, but they'll have a hearing. It will be accessible on Capitol TV, which we've linked at the very bottom of the page here, where you can watch it, and it's not in real time, so it's a 3-minute delay. So what will happen is you will sign up to testify, or your public comments. It's not really testifying. People get freaked out when you hear the word testify. It's just your public comments on these bills, whether you support or oppose them. So I'll explain quickly how to do this. Now, this process, I know if I scroll down, probably saw there's 40 bills for that night. It's a lot of work to do this, but I'll tell you, if you had to do this through the State House website, it's even actually not more difficult, but what you would leave out steps which will make our side look underrepresented, right? So you don't want to send one email per bill. One email for all of the bills collectively, because you may support others and some of my bills and not others, and that's fine. So if you send one email that says you support this bill and you oppose this one, and no one's going to read that email, right? They're not going to take the time to go in and figure out what your position on is each bill. So they're going to look at the title of your email. So what we've done is we've created this default, these buttons here, where if you press written, it will open up your email browser. It will have the address of the recipient, which is the Secretary of House Judiciary. And then it will say that you don't support this bill. It's a red bill, so we don't support that bill. If you want to support it, you can change that. But if you don't support it, and you shouldn't support the ones in red, if you don't support the bill, leave the title, but then you can change what's in the subject, right? We've put some guidance as to what these bills do and don't do, and you can go in and change it. So if you're not really familiar with all of the language, right? For instance, medical release for a gun purchase, you may have not read that bill. You can click it here and you can read it. And you just need to put a couple of lines as to why you support or don't support it. You don't need to go into 4 or 5 paragraphs on each one of these. It will take you forever. If you do this really quickly, and I've done it already, it'll take you probably 20 minutes. So then for each of these bills, I know there's 40, so you may not choose all of them. And if you had to pick any of them, the anti-gun bill ones, the ones that they're pressing hard: magazine ban, felony if you don't store firearms properly, no guns on school grounds, ban on semi-automatic firearms. That's pretty much all firearms between this one and the magazine bill. So those are the bills you absolutely want to send testimony on. So if you had to, pick which ones, look through here and see which ones are the most restrictive and go with those. Ban on long guns in public, all of this stuff, right? So anyway, the written testimony, that's fairly simple, and that's got to be in by, let's see here, Friday at 1 p.m. Okay, so if you're one of those people that procrastinate, get going on that now. I'm a teacher, and I understand that folks wait till the last minute, but that never works out for you. So verbal testimony is a little more complex, or a lot more complex. So that needs to be in by Thursday at 4 p.m. And any bill that you want to testify on, and again, I say public comment, right? You're going to be given 2 minutes, and if you click this, it will take you to a form that you need to fill out. And you need to make sure you put your information in here, put your phone number. That's the number they're going to call you. And it should be a Rhode Island number. We've been hearing that they're not going to accept calls from out of state, which is good and bad, because some of our folks maybe have a cell phone because they work in Massachusetts or Connecticut, but they live in Rhode Island. So anyway, so try and call from a Rhode Island number, and you want to keep that phone with you because they'll be calling people all day long. This is not going to happen over the course of a couple of hours. So list your organization if you're part of one. Most people leave that blank. Bill number, so you got to make sure you put the bill that you're supporting or opposing. We couldn't get that to auto-populate. So anyway, whether you support it or oppose it, or no position, so usually it's going to be the one of the first two, and then whether you're a Rhode Island resident, which you should, and you shouldn't be testifying if you're not a Rhode Island resident. Email, whatever email address you want confirmation sent to, and then that's it, you're done. Then you go to the next bill, and if you support or oppose that bill, you can submit those as well. For every single bill that you click, verbal or whatever, you public comment, they will call you. And it's important, that I know it sounds like it's going to be a chaotic night, and it will be, certainly. It's going to be probably a lot more chaotic than what we've seen when we go to the State House and we try and fill out all those ridiculous forms that they have there, where they don't allow us to put support and oppose on different forms, right? You got to kind of pick one or the other. So this makes it a little bit easier in the sense that they will know what your position is, and they won't be mixing and matching emails with the same, like, two bills. One is pro, one is anti, and then they just categorize you as pro or anti. Each individual bill will indicate your position. They can tally that up at the end of the night. They'll know exactly what everyone's position is collectively for or against these things, which is going to benefit us because we outnumber the other side thousands to 1, 10,000 to 1. Verbal testimony, again, it's limited to 2 minutes. You don't need to go into detail. And it's not testimony; it's just public comment because you're not going to be able to ask them questions. They may ask you questions, but just simply explain what these bills mean to you, how they affect you, how they are far more reaching than what the titles of these bills indicate they are. It's important that we do this, and again, it's daunting. I mean, you've got 40 bills here total, right? So if you think about, actually, no, there's not 40. There's 20 or so, but you've got 40 steps here, 40 buttons to click. It's a lot, but the point is that if people don't do it, and the other side mobilizes their folks to do it, they're certainly going to hyperinflate their numbers regardless. They have chapters all over the country that will probably submit emails. This is what they do. They AstroTurf. They have other organizations in the state have nothing to do with firearms that will go in and sort of pad their numbers in the database. So we just want gun owners. That's all we want, is folks that are supportive of the bills that we put in green, or the folks that are opposed to ones in red, and just make sure that you complete all of these steps. If you have any questions, you can post on social media and ask. There are a lot of folks that will, on our side, that will be kind of watching and seeing if folks have any concerns about the things that are happening. But this stuff is all directly to the State House, so it's not through our website. So if it doesn't work, if you're clicking this, let's say the verbal, and you're not getting the form, it's an issue with the form, or you probably missed the deadline. And that was actually something I did the other day when we were building this website. The person that was building it, he chose to put a placeholder for a link there, and then eventually that form evaporates. And so it was just a test run, but you got to understand that if you're not getting any sort of form when you click these buttons, it means that you've missed the deadline, which is, again, submitted by Thursday night. So you've got Tuesday, Wednesday, and then part of Thursday to get this done. Again, can't tell you how important this is. It can't tell you how important this is. If we get folks that don't participate, that don't register to give public comment, and they don't answer the phone when they call, I mean, this will be a late night, certainly till 10:30. Not quite as bad as it has been at the State House in the past, but sometimes we're there till 2, 3. The first year, I think we were there till 5:30. I testified at 5:30 in the morning, so it won't be as late as traditional hearings, but. It's a pain to have to sit around with your cell phone in your pocket all day long and wait for someone to call you. So, again, important. So make sure, just keep your ears and eyes sort of on social media, and check your emails, and we'll be sending out text messages if there's any updates. Maybe they'll reconsider if the numbers of folks that sign up for these bills are just far exceed any sort of ability for them to conduct these hearings. All right, take care.